Alright guys, this is 8.3, dividing polynomials using synthetic division. So it's kind of a shortcut from the long division. However, it follows a certain circumstance. Now, you can only do it when you're dividing by a linear degree, which means, like the one on the bottom, your denominator, is a linear polynomial, which means that it only has a power of 1. So whatever you have here on the top, whatever polynomial you're using, it can only be divided by x plus, some other number. Okay, it has to be to the power of 1, and it can only have a coefficient of 1 here. If that has another coefficient of 2 or it's got another power, don't even try synthetic division because it's going to screw you up and it's not going to work. So just go back and do the long division. If you don't know what I'm talking about long division, go watch 8.3b, okay? And I also suggest that you watch it before you do this because we're going to kind of use some of the same principles there, but it's just going to be a little bit shorter. So what I want you to make sure that you do when you look at these, that you understand which ones you can use synthetic division for. Okay, so this is our divisor, this is our denominator. We need to check the power. Power of 1, coefficient of 1, so yes, you can use synthetic division here. How about this one? We don't care about this. Okay, we don't care about what goes on top. The only thing we care about is what's going to go in your denominator. It has a coefficient of 1, which is cool, but here it's 2, which makes it no bueno. You cannot use this for synthetic division. If we look over here, this is a linear term here. It's got a power of 1, but it's got this coefficient of 2, which is not going to work. Okay, so don't use these for synthetic division. The only one you want to use is something that looks like this here. So I'm going to give you some examples. I have 2 examples and a practice problem for you. So here I have the steps kind of written out. You might want to just read them, and in the next example I'll kind of shorthand them for you. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is check your divisor. Always foremost, this is your number 1 most important step here. So we check this part here. It's got a power of 1 with no coefficient, so it's good to go. So next you're going to set up your box. Now it's going to be like your long division box, like your house, but it's going to be upside down. Okay. Here on the inside, you're going to put the coefficients of your dividend, of the first leading terms, okay? So the coefficient here is 1, 3, and 2, so you're just going to write them out. 1, 3, and 2, and you write them for all of them. Another thing that's really important is that this needs to be in standard form. Okay, so 2, 1, 0 in terms of the exponents. If they're out of order, you need to rewrite it. Okay, so if you have like a x cubed, so it needs to go 3, 2, 1. If it's out of order, you want to make sure that you put it in standard form before you do this. So that's how we're going to set up the box. Now on the outside goes your constant of your divisor. Okay, so you're going to put a 1 here. Now your next step is also really important. You need to change the sign of the divisor. So if this is a positive 1 and you put a positive 1 here, you want to make sure that you change it to a negative. And that's going to take care of the subtracting part that we do. Remember when we were doing the long division, whatever you put down here at the bottom, you would subtract it. So by changing this sign, we're going to go ahead and take care of that. So your next step is you're going to bring down your first coefficient here. You're going to bring it down underneath the box. That's it. Now what we're going to start doing is we're going to start multiplying our divisor out here by whatever numbers we have here. So I'm going to do negative 1 times 1. It's going to give me a negative 1. And you're just going to put your answers here. So you're going to kind of create a little loop where you multiply here and then put them up inside the box. So then you're just going to repeat, you're going to subtract. So 3 minus 1 is going to give you 2, and then you repeat. Negative 1 times 2 is going to give you a negative 2 here. 2 minus 2 is 0. Once you get a 0, then you stop. You're done. Now, this is going to be your answer, except you're going to apply an x here. And now this also gets tricky because you're going to start subtracting based off of this exponent here. So if this is x squared, you're going to subtract a power, and that's going to be x here. So your answer is going to be 1x. This is a positive 2 plus 2. Now, if this looks familiar, it's just like the first example that we did in the long division, so that you know it's correct. The trickiest part here is making sure that you put the correct x with the correct power on your answer. In the next example, I'll kind of show you how that will change. All right, so here's our next example. We have 3x cubed plus 11x squared plus 4x minus 4. Step 1, you always want to check your divisor. Okay, power of 1, coefficient of 1, so we're good to go. Next step is we're going to set up our box. Okay, so we have our upside down box here. Put your coefficients here. Now, one thing that you want to be careful with is that this exponent here is cubed, so that your answer is going to start with an x squared. Okay, you're just going to go x squared and then subtract a power from each one. So here we have a 3, 11, 4, negative 4. Now we need to put our constant over here on the outside, which is a positive 1, and then we're going to change the sign. Okay, make that a negative. So then we're going to come down here. If this was a negative, keep in mind that it would change to a positive. Now we're going to start multiplying. Negative 1 times 3, negative 3. 11 minus 3 is going to give you positive 8. Multiply. Negative 1 times 8 minus 8. 4 minus 8 is going to give you negative 4. Negative 1 times negative 4 is going to give you a positive 4, 0, and we're done. Okay, so our answer is going to look something like this, okay? And you have to start with whatever this is over here. So we know that we divided x cubed by x, which means, okay, so you have x cubed over x, that your leading term here is going to be an x squared term. So we have 3x squared plus 8. So now we have the next term down, which is going to give you an x minus 4. So this is 2, 1, 0. Okay, so x to the 0, x to the 1, x squared, and that's it. So this here is going to be your answer. As always, you can check your work by multiplying. I'll show you how to do that real quick. So you have x plus 1, and you're going to multiply that by 3x squared plus 8x minus 4, and you're just going to FOIL. Or you can do your box however you want. X times 3x squared is going to give you 3x cubed plus 8x squared minus 4x. On the bottom, we have 3x squared plus 8x minus 4. Combine your like terms. 8 plus 3 is 11x. Here you have a negative, so plus 4x minus 4 here, which is exactly what we had in the beginning up here. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know. What I want you to do tonight is do this practice problem here using synthetic division. Have it ready for class tomorrow. If you have any questions, let me know, shoot me a reminder, or ask me in class.